Hey guys, alright, so I showed you the video of getting the deer the other day. Today, it's been on ice for 2 days. I'm going to debone it all and get it ready to grind for hamburger and what few roasts that I make. We're going to make a little bit of deer jerky, I believe, and the back straps, how I use those for like a steak. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how I debone it, what I do, and then we'll show you a little more of the grinding and then a little bit of the eating. So we'll get back with you here in just a minute. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I got my little fish cleaning table here. I usually use a bigger table, but I'm going to use this one. It's a little taller. Now I take bleach and I wipe it down really good and get it clean because you want it to be sanitary. I know I'm outside instead of inside my garage, but I wanted to be out here today. It's nice and cool. I'm going to spray everything down. I'm going to clean it with bleach and then we'll get going from there. Alright, so got me a bottle of bleach. And what I do, and you can do whatever you want, you can use Clorox wipes, whatever you want to do. I pour some bleach on, set it down, and I take a clean rag and I spread that bleach all over the table. Just straight bleach, that way it's good and sanitary, kills all the germs and whatnot. Wipe her down good. And then, after I do that, I let it sit about 3 good minutes. That way, the bleach has time to do its cleaning and do what it does. So when I put my meat up here and start cleaning my meat and deboning it, it's good and properly sanitized. Last thing you want to do is when you're doing stuff like this is try to get your family sick. We don't want that. Alright, so it's been 3, 4, 5 minutes, probably more like 5 minutes. The bleach has been sitting on the table, so now I'm going to spray it off. You want to make sure all the bleach is off because you don't want your meat sitting in bleach. You just wanted it to clean the table. At least that's the way I've been doing it all my life, and it seems to have worked. Alright, I'm going to start with ham from the back leg, and what I do with that is I get started and I spray it off really good. Try to clean all the impurities and hair and fragments off of it. Kind of spray it down so I know it's good and clean before I start deboning it. And I've had it in a cooler full of ice since I've cleaned it. And just letting it bleed out a little bit. I use my fish fillet knife. It's good and sharp, and for me it debones well. But what I do is I start by getting underneath this silver skin and getting as much of it off as I can. Because that's the stuff that makes it tough. So you want to get under it. It's kind of hard to get started, but once you get it started, it goes fairly easy. And a fillet knife, if you grab this and just pull up on it, you can get this silver skin off pretty easy with minimal meat loss. So I get as much of that off as I can, and then I'll start deboning it. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of this silver skin off, and I'll be back as soon as I start cutting the meat. Alright guys, so I got the majority of the silver skin off, as you can see. So then I just turn it up, and I come to this bone right here. And I get right behind it and I cut down and I just follow that around. And that's one big slab of boneless meat. That's a good roast, or for grinding, or you can cut it into steaks, however you like. But I'm going to do that with the rest of the deer, and that's the way I do it. And then I'll get back with you when I'm doing the back strap. So I've got, 2 hind legs, 2 front shoulders, back straps. I've got the liver, so we'll get to all that. But I'm going to get this deboned, show you what it looks like when I'm done deboning it, and then from there, I won't show you the rest. It's boring until I get to the back strap. So we'll see you when we get to there. So what I do, guys, is once I get the meat where I want it, I cut it in strips. Just as if I'm going to be grinding it for burgers. And and I cut it in strips here like this, just big enough to fit in my grinder. So these are ready for grinding, turn into hamburger. And that's what I do with the meat once I get it deboned. The stuff that I'm making for hamburger anyway. Alright guys, so here's what the bone looks like when you're done deboning it. Not much of nothing left but just bone. So anyway, that's how it looks. Alright guys, we took a little break, got us a cup of coffee. Got the next ham up here and we're gonna get started on that. We're just gonna have a little bit of coffee first. So we'll get back with y'all in a little bit. So 2 hams are done. That's a good pot of meat right there to be ground into burger. So that's what we're going to be doing with those 2 hams. Now I'm going to get on the 2 front shoulders, and then I'll get to the back straps and the other strap pieces that I use for burger. Now I don't use back straps for burger, don't get me wrong, but you'll see what I do with those. Anyway, good meat here for grinding. Here's the 2 front shoulders. You can see they're a lot thinner and a lot more of the sinew meat or silver skin and all that. Typically these make good roast and whatever if you want to do that, but I grind them all up into hamburger. We eat a lot of hamburger around here. So these make good burger. You got to cut the shot meat out of them since I hit them in the front shoulder of that one. So anyway, that's what we'll be doing now. That is both legs, hind legs, and both front legs all ready for grinding. It's gonna make an awful lot of hamburger. I mean, oh lordy, that's a good bit of meat. Anyway, that's what we do with those. So now we're on to the back strap. These I like to make steaks with. I know a lot of people like to cut them in medallions and deep fry them. Me personally, I like to cut them into steaks, marinate them and grill them. So we'll get on with that and I'll show you how that works. So what I normally do, I've already rinsed them off and did all that good stuff. I cut them into portions, about like so. About like that. And about like that. And I do that with both of them. And then I turn them over and I trim them up a bit. The silver skin that you don't want. And then I fillet them right off of the silver skin, just like this. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm trying to make it where you can. I'm going to trim this up right here. Goes right in with the burger. With the grinding. Just like that. And you end up with a beautiful steak. And when you marinate that and grill it, oh, it is so good. And I've also found if you mess around a little bit, you can figure out how to air fry them just as well. Anyway, that's how we do it. So I got the back straps all cut up and cleaned up. Nice steaks. Got a whole mess of them here. Nice little steaks. Gonna be good. That's how we do it, and that's what we hunt for. I did up all the scraps that I had. They're in the bowl now. Now we're moving on to the tongue and the liver. Yep, we keep the tongue and the liver as well. Alright guys, now I'm in my garage. I've got the meat put on cookie sheets, layered with parchment paper in between. I'm going to let them partially freeze, and then we'll start the grinding. But they grind a lot easier when they're partially froze instead of mushy. Not mushy, but warm. You know, they need to be partially froze, and that makes it grind a lot easier. So here's what it looks like. This is in the freezer, and there's, I don't know, 3-4 layers each maybe on the cookie sheet. So once they're partially frozen, I'll be able to just take them in the house and grind them, and we'll get back with you on that process. This is the process where we start grinding the meat, grinding it into hamburger. This is how we do it. You see, it's nothing fancy, just a KitchenAid mixer with the grinder attachment. Turn it on, start feeding it in, that's all it takes. Any Anybody can do it. Nothing to it. See that? Perfect, great hamburger. Can't beat that with a stick for nothing. And that's how we do. We do it, and I'll package it in 1 pound packages and put it in the freezer. And we'll have enough for the year. We'll do that with every deer we get until we get enough. Anyway, that's how we do it. Thought I'd show y'all. Here's half the organic hamburger that we made. All right, I'm gonna start the next half. All right, y'all, we're all cleaned up now. We got 26 pounds of burger, 8 steaks, a roast to make some jerky with, and we got the liver, the tongue, and right now we are cooking some taco burger to make taco salad with. So, all in all, been a good day. 1 deer down, a few more to go. All right, so we didn't like the deer liver, so the boys, I made them out of the back straps some deer rice bowls. You like it, Colton?
Yes, sir.
Is it good?
Yes, sir.
What about you, Evan? You like it?
Yeah, it's really, really good. I've been enjoying it.
That's how we do, and that's why we hunt. It's good eating. And for me, green beans and backstrap. Just a quick cook.